Hello, Mike or Marnie. This is the transmission out of your '06 Expedition. This is what it looks like when it's all apart. I'll go over some things with you, and Eric or Amanda will contact you with our cost estimates. We'll start with the pan. You can see the material on the magnet. That's going to be all metal that's stuck to there, and this is obviously too much material. So the pan had some other materials in there. The valve body had been off, so we couldn't tell a lot as far as diagnostic purposes. The reason being we couldn't run it. There was nothing to actually check that way. So some of the material you see in the pan you can also see in the pieces here. So that material is everywhere throughout the transmission. One of the issues that we're seeing, which is quite common, the camera may not be able to pick it up, but if we look right here, there are cracks that are formed. The cracks themselves are going like this, so it's like that. There used to be a snifter plate like this in that location, and Ford decided to remove that from the location, and that has created a problem where these cracks form, and then what ends up happening is this bunch of metal, through pressure from behind there, the valve body is kind of like the brain of the transmission, and when the oil pressure gets in behind there, it actually pushes this plate up, and when it pushes up you end up with cross leaks inside, and the cross leaks are quite often will be the cause for problems such as this, like the band itself. This is the lower reverse band, and the material is missing on the end here, so you can see like there's no material left there at all. This started out as a color like that brown color, so we know that this band has been slipping and the band itself is worn out. The servo that applies that is this, and it's not damaged, so the likelihood there is we have a pressure problem causing that. And like I said, sometimes the pressure problem is because the oil channels underneath here, there ends up being a cross leak. This is the overdrive band, and you can see the black lines where my thumb is here. There's a black line. The reddish brown color is what it should look like, and so we know that this overdrive band has been slipping as well. When the lower reverse band was slipping and the lining finally wore out, you can see how damaged this drum is. This band is supposed to wrap around that drum, and so this surface here is what it should look like, but there's a whole bunch of metal that's missing here, and that explains the metal that we found in the pan. When we look at the case, I just have a test pin here, so what's happening here is I'm wiggling where the servo pin goes into the overdrive band. This wear here is going to be a potential reason for that, and you have a servo that goes in there, which is this, and oil is supposed to go in behind here, push the servo on and apply the band. So this actually is sitting in here, so oil comes in here, pushes on that and applies it, and when that pin is worn, oil ends up leaking through here, and so some of the release oil here ends up getting lost along the way and can create a situation where the band doesn't come off like it should, and then as a result it ends up burning. So the pump itself looked okay. There's some scoring that we'll have to polish. I do think that we can probably polish that out. Our gears themselves, this sun gear looked okay. There is some fairly significant wear on the lugs, which is actually quite common. So right where my finger is, you can see the wear there, but that's certainly reasonable, certainly on a repair. This is our forward clutch pack, and this is what it should look like. You've got a nice surface here. The disc itself, it's not burnt, so that looks okay. This is the reverse clutch. It comes on for reverse along with the lower reverse band, and it's a little bit discolored but not too bad. This direct clutch comes on for third and fourth gears down here. It looks okay as well. There's a little bit of metal embedded in there, so the steel plates are scored up a bit, but it wasn't actually slipping. And this clutch is for second gear, and same thing, it really doesn't look that bad either. So as far as slippage, those pieces weren't slipping, but the overdrive band and the lower reverse band certainly were. So as I said, Eric or Amanda will give you a call with the cost estimates, and we shall go from there.